You get your Wild Care hat on. I got my Pan Mass Challenge hat on. So
That's
promote
totally
the Pan Mass
appropriate.
Challenge too.
Does the water come up fast?
No, it's probably, we got plenty of time.
It was out quite a bit before.
We're probably,
Here last
we're pretty close to high tide.
So what?
An hour or till high. We're about 2 hours behind the inlet.
It's so complicated. You have to know all that boats, I guess.
You bet you do.
Yeah.
I tell you, that whole area, that inlet out there, that Nausa there, it's brutal. I mean, it's filled in so much in the 15 years we've been here. It's tough getting out. It's tough getting out the inlet.
I know they're talking about dredging.
But you time it. We go out there, see our pet humpbacks.
Oh, must be so wonderful.
That's Devette. I want to go out there and catch some fish, and she just wants to watch the whales, so we usually split it.
He's pointing that.
It's actually birds.
Yep.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Stephanie, the director of Wild Care. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And I'm super excited. Today we are in Orleans and we have a special release of a great blue heron that my staff rehabilitated. And I see people signing on here. Hi, everyone. So we're in Orleans and we're going to release Eastham. I'm sorry. I don't know where I am. We're in Eastham. Sorry about that. And we're about to release a great blue heron. And so first, I am going to introduce you to Jennifer Taylor. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer is our animal care coordinator at Wild Care. And Jennifer, why don't you go ahead and start telling us about how we got this bird?
Okay. Well, last Saturday, Leah was answering the phone at Wild Care and got another call for a great blue heron in the Tonsett Cove area. It's been the same bird that people have been calling about for about a week, she said. And the description was a great blue heron with a red balloon on the end of its beak, or a red flag, or there was a red something that people were concerned about. And when anyone approached the bird, it would just fly away. So it was not catchable. And then on Saturday, people that were at their property right now had called us, and it was right up the street, and I was available because I was working outside of the clinic. And I came up here and found Bob, the boat guy, and his wife, and they were very concerned about the heron. And so we came down this deck here. Bob was watching so that he didn't lose sight of the bird. And I came and asked him questions, and maybe he can just say what he'd observed. And then we can discuss our great capture.
Yes. Hi, Bob.
Hi. Well, I'll take this off to make it a little bit clearer.
Sure.
I've been coming back from a morning of fly fishing for striped bass, and was coming back around the corner of the revetment there, and I saw the bird actually perch on our neighbor's boat. And I got real close to it, and I saw the piece of fabric wrapped around its beak, and I said, "Oh, that's not good." So I immediately, and it was pretty quiet. I got pretty close to it, and I thought I might be able to catch this bird. So I got my phone out, called my wife, who was up at the house, and she immediately called Wild Care, and we just kept our eye on the bird till Jennifer came, maybe 45 minutes later, and probably spent the next 45 minutes or an hour.
It was less than almost an hour.
Whatever, an hour, triangulating around the bird. I was in my boat trying to keep its focus on me, which actually it tended to do. It was watching me as I was taking my boat along the edge of the marsh. and Jennifer was coming up from one angle, and Devette was coming up from another angle with her sheet, so she looked like a giant bat or something. I'm not sure what. But,
it was the surprise effect. You have one chance to catch things, so you say now, and you like, you know, if you're going to try to net something, the person in front of it does this, and the bird doesn't know what to do, so you have that moment. Right, so that's what we tried. And
so
he
we
was great
tried
with the
that,
boat.
it took a little while, but you could see the bird was, I had been watching the bird, and you could see it wanted to feed. It was standing right on the edge of the water, and it just couldn't. And it was weak, and the only way we caught it, I suspect, the earlier times it flew away because it wasn't as weak.
Yeah,
So
it
by
was
the time we
pretty
got
neat.
to it, it was slow enough and weak enough that it just sort of realized. Once I told it was going to get food, then it just calmed down
It
and it
helped.
said, "Oh, food! That's what I want." So that Jennifer very nicely caught it. Brought
Yeah,
it
he was
food,
about,
and,
he was like, you know, standing pretty close. We came around, and Bob got in his boat, and Devette and I instructed her to, like, we didn't want him to fly into the water, so what I wanted was to come up to these reeds. We wanted to spook him into the reeds so that he would get caught.
Right.
And that is eventually what happened.
what happened?
Yeah, at one point I threw the net to Bob because he thought he could nab him from there, but the bird kept kind of hop flying but did not go over the water. So he knew that he would, if he hit the water, he would flounder. Herons don't swim.
Right.
Anything. So he did stay around here, and we did eventually get him right here, pretty much, right?
Good, right in the
Right here or
reeds.
right
Just
by- yeah. And,
it worked as planned. I'm so glad.
He got tangled up in the reeds here, and I had enough time to chase him, and I fell a few times and got wet and all that. But
Yeah, she almost failed to mention that both she and Devette did fall into the water.
into the sinkhole.
Not realizing that the marsh, when you get too close to the water and the tide's coming up, it does become a flooded marsh.
It does, and there's these
you
sinkholes
sink right in.
everywhere.
Yes.
The adrenaline keeps flowing, and that doesn't bother you.
But it wasn't
Right.
controlled.
Anyway, so this is exactly where he was found.
This
so
is
we-
great.
This is exactly where we should release him, because this is the place where he felt safest. That's what I find with birds that are debilitated. They find out where they can get away from people and predators and where there's food.
Right, absolutely. Okay, this is great for those of you just tuning in, and we're about to release a great blue heron. And then I think, Jennifer, after the release, I want to talk to you about the rehab process.
Okay. All right.
So-
I think I'll walk this out a little bit, and if you guys can go back toward the dock.
Sure.
And I'll open up the top. And sometimes it takes them a while to do what we want them to do, but they usually look around and acclimate. Sometimes they just burst out and freak everybody out. So let's see what happens. He's facing that way, so I'm going to try.
Oh, perfect.
Stephanie,
Yes.
great, thank you.
Thank you for reminding me. Is that good?
Yep, okay.
That was easy.
Yay, and there he goes.
Away from us. He's going to Orleans.
That was awesome, you guys. Can you still see him?
You can go under the bridge.
I'm going to go under the bridge.
Where'd he go?
Can you still see him, Bob? Sorry.
Okay, great. Just landed right there on the far shore.
He landed across the way.
Yep. Right on the far
Great.
shore.
He did go to Orleans.
Landed in
He'll be
Orleans.
back.
That's wonderful.
Fishing's
He's
better on the Eastham side.
Depends on the tides, right?
He's back home. That was awesome. So that's what it's all about, you guys. I'm so happy to get this bird back on the wing. And so we're just going to go back to Jennifer and ask her a few questions. Yes, I think so. Out of the light. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Jennifer, that was amazing. And can you tell us, so a great blue heron is a big bird and can be a dangerous bird. And so can you just tell us what it's like, or what it was like rehabbing this great blue heron?
Okay, so when we got him, he he had been flying and he had gotten weaker, so we knew that he was somewhat debilitated. And so when we captured him, I could feel how strong he was and how skinny he was, and it wasn't that bad. It was important that I just get him into his box and get him to Wild Care and not examine him here. Sometimes people will cut tackle or something off of a bird that they see in the beach and then just let it go, but it is best to really know that everything is off of the bird. So I brought it to Wild Care, and Devette helped us fold its legs up, because I learned when we had a sandhill crane that you have to fold these birds up because they break really easily. So that is the herons and cranes, they're so long and lanky, and they do get broken very easily, which we see a lot of with their long legs. So that was key, was to not let the bird hurt itself. It was very weak, and it was dehydrated and starving, so Leah kept it, I believe, for a day, maybe overnight, maybe not even till the next day, because it was standing and it was agitated. And where we put them when we first, in our clinic, we don't usually get birds this tall. We get herons occasionally. And so in our elliptical aviary, which you've probably seen if you've been watching our website and all that, has some big chambers. So we have a nice big chamber that we've had great blue herons in before, and there's perches and a big shelf. So it's like 17, 20 feet high or something, and there's it's all gravel. So what I did was I set up a fake camouflage area for them, because the way that they hide is to look like reeds, and they want to be tall and they feel safe. So we need to make the animals feel safe when they come to Wild Care. So I used an aluminum ladder that has the rungs in it, so there's these holes. So I cut Phragmites from the marsh that we live, that Wild Care's at, and I stuck them in the holes, and they were nice and tall. And I got other brush so that there was this wall of marsh grass, and Leah put him in there, and I had a kiddie pool going and running, and so we set that up, and he was walking and talking and everything at that point, because that piece of material that was on him was just like a nylon flag or something. It was this, it wasn't fishing gear, it was some other kind of thing that was in the marsh that he obviously got snagged in, and it was wrapped around him. And I suspect that some of the way his beak is formed inside, where they catch a fish and the fish can't go forward, I would think that had something to do with his beak being tied together. But there were no wounds. He didn't hurt himself. So he was fine. So all we wanted to do was fatten him up and get him out before this big lanky bird breaks itself in captivity.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Leah tubed him and said he was basically okay, and got him into the habitat, and we had this wonderful person named Katie get us fish, and so he had fresh chubs, which he immediately ate. We didn't give him a lot at once, then we gave him more, and he actually ate all of them. And then we offered him our thawed capelin, which I put a little air into so that they would float or whatever, and he ate that readily. So he's been eating fine for 6 days, and that's why we figured we could release him at this point.
That's great. Oh my goodness. Jennifer, thank you so much for your amazing work.
Welcome. It's fun. So,
Yes. So thank you, everyone. Turn around. Oh no, that won't work. Thank you, everyone, again for watching. And this is just one example of the amazing work that my staff do every single day. And you guys are the ones who make these success stories possible with your donations. So if you are able to make a donation, we would greatly appreciate it. It goes towards the care of our animals. And you can do that via Facebook or also on our website, wildcarecapecod.org. We'd love to thank, once again, Bob and his wife, who live in this beautiful location in Eastham and told us about the bird. And also I'd like to thank Katie Petit Quigley and her boyfriend AJ, who brought us live fish several days in a row, which the heron absolutely devoured. So it takes a village, takes the community, and we are grateful for all of you. Okay, everyone, go ahead, and I'm going to post this to our Facebook page so you can watch the release again. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.